Hello and welcome back to League One Live. Sorry, where was that? Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back for another live stream on the channel. I hope we are all well. Tonight, lots of things to go through. In the third tier, lots of goals. We had an 8-goal thriller, 35 goals across 12 games. And we had a 0-0, so across 11 games. So there was a lot of goals, a lot of action, a lot to get through. But to join me tonight is our partner in crime. It's the one and only Jake Tong.
Hello, chaps.
How are we, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, I mean, you can't not be after beating your local rivals 4-1, can you? It's been good, mate. It's been nice. Yeah, no, we looked like a good side yesterday, and it was nice because last weekend I was a little bit doom and gloom, but to win 4-1, to be up in the playoffs, I know it's 3 games in, but yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you? How's your weekend been?
Yeah, I'm all right. Plodding on. We got the vlog out, and look, I knew that vlog would flop straight away. It's just these things you just have to accept sometimes. The game was horrific, and I had actually a chat with Brendan Wiradu after the game, name drop, and he said it was frustration, and it felt like that because he asked me, how did you feel from the stand, and just couldn't find a way through. So we're on League One. Let us know if you can see any nails. Drop a like as you are joining as well. We've also just released a 26.5-minute members vlog of me walking in and around Fleetwood. You've watched it, have you? Like it?
Second you put it out, mate, I was just telling you before we came on, we recorded T-Flop at 11:45. I've literally moved from here to that sofa, stayed on that sofa, and then come back here at 8:45. So I've had plenty of time to watch your content. Loved it, mate, as always.
Yeah, and we went round Fleetwood, and the side of me you don't always see, a relaxed side, and kind of behind the scenes as well. So if you fancy watching that, you can join as a member. I think we've got 55 members now, which is incredible. The link is in down below. Let's say hello to the chat. I'm from Barnsley. Sue can see and hear me. Very glad. What a beautiful man you are. Hello, Links. I've just had my hair cut this week, and it's not quite as good as the best barber in Lincoln, and that's what they have got. If you need an haircut, you know where to go and see. I won't read that chat out, Jake. Don't worry. Hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks, people. Norwood is ridiculous. Yeah, drop down from the Premiership. Shall we get going with the running order? We've got a running order. There we go.
There we land.
Yeah, exactly. So, Cambridge United 4, Blackpool 4. Now, the first thing to mention, I think, is Neil Critchley, who got sacked this week. 2 games, 2 defeats to Crawley Town and Stockport County. A lot of unhappiness in and around the football club last year, Jake. What was your thoughts on this? Do you think it was the correct decision? Because after that 3-0, there was a big group, I'd say, in the North Stand that vented their frustration at the management, and he's been very stubborn and kind of pessimistic in his 3-5-2, not really changed it, even when losing in games, not changed to a 4, playing players out of position like CJ Hamilton, Rob Apt, being just a couple of James Husband, predominantly at left centre half now, which isn't too bad. What do you think of it? We came Wednesday morning.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because Neil Critchley is someone that's got promoted at this level, and you have to remember that first year in the Championship, Ben, Blackpool didn't just make the numbers up under Critchley, did they? They were very successful, and they won a lot of games, and they worried a lot of sides. When they got relegated, obviously none of his doing, was the expectation for Blackpool, given everything that's gone around, Simon Sadler, given everything about the top end of this league, were they expected to bounce straight back up? I don't know. I think Blackpool finished exactly where they should have done last year. I don't think they should have been any higher. I can understand when you delve deeper into it. At home, I think he's an exceptional manager. He gets teams under pressure early. They're quite dominant in a lot of games. Away from home, that was always the big issue. And last year, what did they win? 7 games? 7 of their away games last year, which is not good enough for Blackpool, who want to be closer to the playoffs than what they were. And They started this season with back-to-back defeats. Obviously, that's never going to be good. But and we said this, Ben, when we spoke about Ryan Lowe on T-Flop last week. Why, if Critchley is close to the sack, if he's 2 games away from the sack, why give him all summer to recruit for his system, his players, his way of playing? Why bother giving him all that time? Because clearly the board were like, well, if we're going to be quite reactionary if something happens, and ultimately, the new man. Let's say, because Nappers. How long did it take Fleetwood to appoint a manager? It took Lincoln 4 weeks to appoint a manager. Let's say it takes Blackpool 3 or 4 weeks to appoint one. They then move past the end of the window. They're working with another man's squad, and they're not really going to be up there because that's where they want to be. So they're literally, I put this on Twitter when they announced it, they're setting the new man up for fail unless he's in now and he's got a week of the window. But I can't see it happening. And for me, I think they should have sacked him in the summer. But
I agree. And I think that squad last year was a competitive one. They had good players at the football club, Jordan Rose, Karamoko, Dembele. They had a lot of players that could get into playoff squads, but I thought it was a very average overall squad between 9th and 12th. I actually think they actually won a few more games than I thought they would. Away from home, they were dreadful. Look, they've been dreadful since the start of the championship season, the second season where they got relegated. They've won 12 games out of the last 48 away games. They've lost 26 of which it's not good enough. This team now, I don't think it's massively improved either. Look, they've added, I think Embleton has come back to the football club. They brought Bollard in, who's a good player, up front, and Kyle Joseph hopefully will stay fit now for them. Jordan Rhodes returned to the club as well. And, they've got decent options in there. Don't get me wrong, Finnegan, Baggett at the back. They've not signed poorly at all, but have they strengthened enough when you think how Stockport and Wrexham have done so far, how they've strengthened? And then you think Charlton have improved as well. And the teams that finished above them last year, look, Barnsley are still probably on a par with Blackpool, but you think Barnsley will get better as well. I'm talking Blackpool. I think Peterborough, Bolton, are still better than them as well. So all of a sudden, then you think Birmingham, Huddersfield, Rotherham as well. So all of a sudden, Blackpool have gone down the pecking order.
Someone else finished above them last year as well, Ben.
Yeah, Lincoln City as well. There you are. So, and Lincoln City are probably with
best team in the world, mate.
With the losses of Taylor, Lucas Jensen, and Lars Sorensen, have probably stabilised a little bit, maybe a little bit weak in the forward line, but in terms of the whole squad, probably around about the same. So you look at it, Blackpool all of a sudden haven't weakened, but they haven't strengthened. We'll come on to the game, and it was a great game. Blackpool obviously go a goal up. James Husband scoring a brace yesterday. He hadn't scored in 180 Blackpool appearances. He finally gets 2. They come along like buses, and I won't say it, don't worry. I think he's only scored 7 career goals, 2 of which were yesterday as well, the former Norwich and Fleetwood fullback / defender. And then Shane Lavery, who last scored a brace, who got a brace yesterday on the opening day against Burton on the opening day of last year. Only got 5 goals last year, getting 2 goals yesterday against his former club. Blackpool went into a 4-1 lead in the match. You're getting Kyle Joseph, you're getting Ballard scoring scoring goals. Joseph only scored a goal last year, 1 goal. Injuries, and when he scored, you could see the players how much it meant to them and for him. It was a great chip. And they scored 2 in a minute. You think, brilliant. 3-1, go 4-1 up. And then Danny Andrews scores a free kick. Danny Andrews has scored, 36 career goals as a fullback. He scored some, good free kicks. He scored one at the bank a few years ago that from about 25 yards out that went into the top corner.
You didn't win the game though, Ben, did you? Before you bring that up, you didn't win the game. You got paid.
It was coming. And then the way Cambridge respond, Lavery scores again. And, they get a 4-4 draw after being 4-1 down. They score 3 goals in 15 minutes. And Richard Keogh's gone in this week, former player, lots of experience, maybe a bit of a young approach. A chaos week. What did you make of it? Blackpool last drew 4-4 in the 2014-15 season with Nottingham Forest. And that's when they got relegated from the Championship. For Cambridge, they've not lost to Blackpool at the Abbey in their last 3 times of playing them.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it? Genuinely, this game was mental. Blackpool took the early initiative, like you mentioned, which sort of maybe signify that they were going to put this away record to bed. But you got to give credit to Cambridge. At 4-1 down, you can be misconstrued for thinking that the Blackpool were going to see the game out comfortably like they should have done. Looking at the graph now, Blackpool should have won the game. They had a lot more in it. More big chances, more total shots. They worked the goalkeeper a lot more. So I think Blackpool will be extremely disappointed in the manner in which they've lost it. And again, it brings back that weak mentality, doesn't it, that we spoke about under Critchley away from home. Even the 3 goals up, they're still not home and hosed. And you got to give a lot of credit to Cambridge because, after the start they've had, they could have sulked and they could have gone well before 1 down. There's no point in bothering now. But, they were active in terms of bringing on subs. And Joku came on and scored with his first touch. Longello came on and looked bright. By the looks of it, Josh Stokes, who I certainly like, coming in from Bristol City on loan, he's come on and done well, and they ended up getting a draw. And I think for Cambridge, it's a fantastic draw considering where they were. For Blackpool, you've got to be thinking, crikey, how on earth have we let that one squander? And like I say, they're going to need a manager in soon because they've got a good side, Ben. You're looking at their starting 11. They've got lots of very good League One players, but at the minute they're just lacking direction. And I think they're going to need a young head coach. For me, if I was Blackpool, I don't know about you, Ben, but I'd be going all after Brian Barry Murphy. He's been heavily linked, I think, isn't he?
One thing I'll be careful of with Blackpool's appointment. They've gone down 2 weeks before of bringing back Tangerine Blood and former player Gary Taylor Fletcher. He was at Lincoln, wasn't he, Gary Taylor Fletcher? Yeah. There's another one. And he said on Twitter about someone with Tangerine Blood. Now, there's a lot of players at Blackpool in the coaching. So I think Neil Eardley's their former Lincoln man himself.
Oh, what a player.
Good right back, to be fair. You've got Stephen Dobby. So it's not going to be him because he'd have given them to the opportunity. And Dobby got it last time, didn't he, when Mick McCarthy left? And he I think he won a game as well towards the latter end of the season. I think they went away somewhere and won. I don't think, and then they brought Critchley back. Sadler's brought Grayson back as well, who won promotion. Say again.
You brought Appleton back?
Yeah, Appleton back as well. Another Lincoln man. There you are. You've got a good connection with Blackpool, haven't you? Playoff final as well. I don't think that's right now. Am I saying that because of Charlie Adam? Yes and no. I'm not. This will sound bitter. It really will. And I don't mean it to come across. I don't think Charlie Adam is ready for that move right now. And I don't think that it's a stable job for him right now. He's at Fleetwood. He's had 26 games as a manager in the Football League. 23 last year, 3 this year. I think he's won 8. He's improved us. This is a work in progress where I think it's a 2 or 3 year project. 6 months in, after one budget, we gave him a chance. We it was him that we wanted. We backed him. We brought in 7 players. Sorry.
At the minute.
Live tomorrow, it'll be 8.
At the minute.
Yeah, it'll be 8 tomorrow.
Maybe someone sharing my name coming in.
No, I genuinely don't think. I think someone, and Brian Barry Murphy, Critchley, I think the wrong style with the Critchley is he played academy football in League One and he didn't adapt. Now, you look at Matt Bloomfield, I thought he was quite the same at Wycombe. He's learned to adapt and they got better. I think they won something like 7 of the last 11 games last year. Got a great result. Look, they started last season poorly, started this season, poorly with 2 defeats, but come on, they played Wrexham and obviously lost last week as well to 2 good sides, Birmingham, and then beat Rotherham. It's a really tough start. So I think they need someone. I would go rogue with this one. I'd go for a Gary Rowett or a Pete Wild. I think someone like that outside of the box, someone that maybe has had a bit of time out of management and can come in.
I don't know if Pete Wild is quite the right fit. I know what you mean in terms of he'll galvanise the group and the fans and everything. I completely agree.
We will talk about Richie Wellens, who was a former Blackpool player. I think he left to go to Doncaster, 27, 28 time. And he kind of came across in an interview where he was annoyed that he hasn't had a job offer. Yes, he's won 2 League 2 titles. And he finished in the top 12 last year with Leighton Orient, did very well. he kind of seemed annoyed that he's not getting mentioned for these jobs. And yes, he's lost the first 3 games, and he was kind of having a dig, wasn't he, at the kind of the board, the hierarchy of the football club. So it'll be very interesting to see where that goes. We will move on. Barnsley 2, Northampton 2, Jake. 2 goals for Barnsley. Waters scoring his first goal since October last year away at Cambridge. Cosgrove is already his second goal contribution this year, only got 10 last year. And the main man, Adam Phillips, has now got 13 goals, 7 assists in his last 32 games, labelling back from the 12th of December last year. It was a good point for Northampton being 2-0 down, scoring 2 goals in the second half. They scored 2 goals from 0.24 expected goals. Both teams have now won 1, drawn 1, lost 1.
Yeah, for me, you can almost copy and paste what we said about Blackpool, about Barnsley, but at Oakwell. Thanks, Sam, for reading my message and coming and joining us this evening. You can, we criticised Barnsley last year so many times for their record. Barnsley were mint away from home, Ben, weren't they, last year? Absolutely mint. But at home, just teams should get at Barnsley at home, especially in the first 15 minutes. I mean, admittedly, this time they got themselves in front, like you say, Max Waters. Adam Phillips is a very good player at this level. We've seen it for a couple of years. Was it Morecambe and Accrington, wasn't he, before? Certainly Accrington at this level. But for me, I'd argue the game changed when Northampton brought on new boy. I'm trying to find his first name. Liam McCarron, signed from Stoke City, I believe, as a free agent sort of thing. He's just left Stoke. Came on the 65th minute, and by minute 73, he made an impact and scored a really good goal, cutting in on from the left and cutting it into the bottom right corner. And from then, Barnsley, when they concede one, you always feel that Barnsley are going to concede another. I mean, we nearly did it last week, and Northampton this time, Jack Baldwin scoring just 5 minutes later, and it completely turned the game on its head. And from there, you'd probably say Northampton deserved it, given the performance in the last 20 minutes. But Barnsley, with the quality that they've got, Waters, Cosgrove, Phillips, Conor Hourihane, Luca Connell, they need to be putting teams to bed. And it's obvious what they need. We said this last week. They're a good side defensively, but for me and for you, they need strikers. And they were linked with Mo Farr. They've been linked with Joe Taylor. Neither look likely they're going to happen. Been linked with Jake Young, I believe, also. But we won't go much further on that. They need centre forwards. They need someone that's going to run in behind and stretch games, because at the minute they're so one-dimensional. Getting the ball to Cosgrove and playing off him, and teams are becoming wise to it. And you saw Northampton, really big. Really big. I also thought the new lad looked really good. Sammy, I don't know how to pronounce. Someone help me. Nappers. The Tunisian they signed from Brighton on loan. The captain, Sammy. Anybody want to help me? Nappers?
Nah, I'm all right.
I'll leave it alone. But he looked very good yesterday. I thought he was a fantastic little addition. Obviously, Northampton have done pretty well with central midfielders from Brighton in previous years.
Tarek Fosu also signing on as well, and McGeehan playing quite high up yesterday from the graphs I saw as well. I had him down more of in a 4-2-3-1 with him, with the lad next to Brighton. Brighton lad, good player.
It looks like Chewbacca.
My issue with Barnsley is they can't keep clean sheets at home when they concede too many goals. They have gone 6 without a clean sheet at home. They've kept 1 clean sheet in 17 at home since the 28th of November last year. So slightly worrying signs for them. Next up, Charlton Athletic. They got a great result at the Valley. The first goal comes from Bolton playing out from the back. Santos gives the ball away, and he's given into Doherty from about 20 yards, and he hits a thunderbolt
into the onion bag.
Into the far top corner. It's a great finish, and that's what Charlton have lacked in the last a few weeks and months, and last season, couple of seasons actually. Let's go rare with it. That they've been too deep the gap between the midfield line and the forward line has been
Too
too
deep.
deep. Yeah, and they needed just to step up 5-10 yards further up. And now they've got that. Now they've got a player like a Berry or a Doherty on this occasion. You've got goals from midfield. I think Berry scored the winner last week. Doherty, you've got Connor Coventry in there as well. You've got good attacking fullbacks that, in Ramsey and Thierry Small, who got an assist yesterday as well. And then you've got good nippy forwards in Gassin Habmi, Campbell, who started. You've got Matt Gordon, who scored 50 in 156 games at League One and Championship level as well. He also scored his first goal since November last year. In a league game, that is, he scored in the FA Cup against Oxford in the 6-2 drumming as well. So Doherty scored a screamer. Matt Godden added to that. Bolton had a lot of possession, dominated proceedings in that sense. Charlton sat off them, but that's 3 wins, 3 clean sheets. They played late in Orient, Wigan away, and now Bolton at home. They've won the 2 home games, and Nathan Jones is yet to lose at the Valley in a league fixture. Lost to Birmingham, that is it, in the Cup. So a great start, and the winning games now, they would have drawn 0-0 or 1-1 last year.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, I'm just having to reply to ludicrous text message I've just received by someone in the audience. Sam Collins, obviously. Yeah, no, so I think you're right. I think Bolton, Ben, I'd like to focus on Bolton. I thought they were really poor yesterday. They didn't create any chances whatsoever. They didn't look like themselves usually. We always talk about how, we spoke about a couple of weeks, certainly, and we have with the boys at the fan zone with Cole, how they've got so many options in midfield and so many combinations they can play. But yesterday, they just looked so goal shy. Didn't really rate them whatsoever. As you flip that for Charlton, they capitalised on Bolton playing out from the back. Bolton looked similar to how they played in the playoff final, giving the ball away cheaply in the final third. Again, didn't create loads, like I just said. And Charlton won the ball high in transition. They nicked it back. And like you mentioned, both goals come from a Bolton mistake, Ben, both of them. And it's good for Charlton. Obviously, that's 3 wins out of 3 now. They're turning those draws into wins. They're looking dangerous under Nathan Jones, and by no admission, they're not done in the transfer window. I imagine they'll be still bringing some more in, but when you consider the money that they have spent, then yeah, they absolutely should be up there. And when they've got a manager of the caliber of Nathan Jones, and they've got good players in that squad, mate. Alex Mitchell, Luke Berry, Greg Doherty. It's almost like they didn't need Alfie May. Look at them fly now.
Absolutely still no goal for Gaston Habme as we welcome Rockbusters 100 to the channel. Thank you for joining, mate. And we have just uploaded a near half-an-hour video today behind the scenes. Completely unseen footage, all of it as well. Kind of see where I go, kind of the different locations, the different spots. Think of a Coronation Street and an Emmerdale tour. Well, I gave you a Cos Vlogs tour yesterday, which is much better than those. Well, it's on the top par with Curry. There we are. And you got to see the cast behind the scenes as well. So if you fancy joining, you can join with the link below. $1.99 a month. You get 4 videos per month, one extra per week as well. And you get access to 20 previous videos as well. Oh, God.
I was about to say, I've just looked at the running order and gone, I just need to message a group chat and let them know that Lincoln chat's coming up now.
Right, okay. Lincoln City 4, Mansfield Town 1.
Come on!
28% possession for the Imps. They scored 8 goals now this season. Expected goals of 1 yesterday. Mansfield absolutely battered them in terms of passes. 3 times the amount of passes. Yeah. Lincoln let them have the ball. Let them have it in the right areas. And then when they went out to the fullbacks or tried to play through the lines, bang, Lincoln went. They were like what I'd say a pack of foxes. Where foxes. There you are. Foxes. Yeah, foxes. Where they just went like the gate opened and they went after Mansfield like you wouldn't believe. And Skibala went after the break. They looked knackered, and there was a chance to press, and he scored 4 great goals. Adam Jackson. 2 goals now for him yesterday, and he scored 2 goals in his previous 90. So already, going on from there as well. good for him. Ben House scoring 2 and 2. He scored 2 and 20 last season as well. Not down to his own fault. Out injured. He's 25 now. It's time for him to kick on. He's got to go and score goals at a more regular basis. Ethan Arahan, I think he won 4 duels in midfield. I think he was brilliant. Probably his best game for, I'd say, a number of games. He looked like the old Ethan, probably taken back to March, April time last year as well. And look, they won 10 home games last year. If Lincoln want to get into the playoffs, I think Lincoln need to win 13 home games this year, between 12 and 13 home games. Then try and get, I think if Lincoln can get 45 points at home this year, between 45 and 50 points, then you're looking at Lincoln getting to get 30 points away from home, which is more than achievable. They've already got 3 out of 3. So good start. For Mansfield, they've now conceded 8 goals in their 3. Conceded in all 3 games. Christy Pym could have done better for a couple of crosses, flat chat, bullied for, not good enough. Keeler Dunster without a goal. Gregory and Evans up and running in previous games as well. What a result. The Imps, you can count it on your fingers, and you still have 2 fingers short, wouldn't you, Jake?
Yeah, very good, Ben. Yeah, no, I'd like to touch on Mansfield first. They changed their shape coming into yesterday. And you'll have heard. I apologise, Ben, because you've heard this already on T-Flop, and I would recommend that all of you go and check out T-Flop when it's out tomorrow morning. I thought Mansfield, they changed their shape. They went 4 in the middle. They made a diamond. It made it very difficult for McGrandles and Tom Bayliss. And for the first 20 minutes, they pinged it around. Like you say, they've got over 700 passes. They have the ball comfortably in their own sort of in the back 2/3. But on occasion, they did break the lines and caused a couple of problems for us. There was certainly an effort from Louis Reed that George Wickens did well to save. But they looked dangerous every time they were going forward. They looked like they might threaten, but the first goal completely killed it. And like you say, Ben, Christy Pym has to do better. Little arms, I think it is a mix-up between him and Flint. I think and I've just been reading the Mansfield sort of fans forum online, and they think if Pym stays on his line, then he might save it. But Adam Jackson is so aerially dominant, and that's his first ever career brace. And then the second goal completely kills it. I mean, again, Christy Pym to blame, but Sean Rowan puts the ball into a good area for the goalkeeper to worry about, and it flies in. And then after that, we completely go and kill the game off. 2 goals in the space of 6 minutes in the second half. 4-0 up, comfortable. I think a lot of it is because of Conor McGrandles. He was absolutely outstanding, and you got to think he's somebody that has not had a pre-season. He's although he spent a lot of time with the club when he got injured after those 4 games last year, so he knows what a Scabala system is, and he clearly showed that yesterday and helped coach some of those younger players through the game with him, the likes of Bayliss, the likes of Ben House and stuff like that. So, yeah, look, really impressive. Completely battered Mansfield, which is always something that I take a great amount of pleasure in. I've had exchanges on Twitter saying, "Oh, we don't care about you. Go and read your fans forum, Stags fans, because they care about Lincoln. They won't admit it, but they certainly do. And whenever you get one over on them, it's a good day." And yeah, look, 2 wins out of 3. We still need work, Ben. We still have work to do in the window. We've got Eric ringing now, which is good to provide that competition at wing back. And we just need a striker. And whether it's Joe Taylor, I don't think it will be, or whether it's Bailey Cadamateri, is that how you pronounce it? The Wednesday lad. Someone who's going to come in and stretch the game, because that's not the game of House or Makama. And quickly, my last point. Shout out Dom Jeffries. I thought he was absolutely outstanding at win back.
Shout out to the real man of the match, Links, who always helps.
Links is the man of the match.
What a guy! Thank you so much for that, Links, as well. I wanted to thank you before, but I've had to 10 minutes of waffle about Lincoln being the best.
So, right, you're on a League One live, mate, and we've just won 4-1. Get over it.
There you are.
You've given it to a Charlton fan.
There you are.
It's like that membership signifies Alex Mitchell. What a waste. Never mind.
Can't tell if Jake's happy with this. 10 goal contributions this season. Yes, I know you only scored 8, but obviously assists count as well. From a possible 16, 10 of which have come from defenders. So you can't keep relying on goals from defenders for
Yes,
long.
we can. Yes, we
You
can.
need
Have you not
get some
seen
forwards. I'm just
Paulie
trying.
O'Connor, mate, can hit the bar from literally standing on the goal. We don't need strikers. We're absolutely fine.
Leighton Orient have lost their first 3 games of the season. 21st in expected goals, 19% in possession, 18% in goals. They are in games, don't get me wrong. They've played Charlton away, lost in the last minute last week, lost narrowly to Birmingham, lost on the opening day. It was on the opening day, but they lost to, was it Bolton? Bolton on the opening day, and it was a tough game for. It's been and Richie Wellens said he's not been happy about the season starts next week. That's what people have always been saying, that they play Shrewsbury. It's a winnable game. They both lost the first 3 games of the season. He wants to change that mindset, and it kind of seemed to me that he's not entirely happy. And he didn't attend like a awards ceremony, and I know there was a couple of reasons for that, but there was a few rumours that he wasn't exactly happy at the football club last year. He did sign a new deal, so that kind of swanded that. I think that he's happy at the football club, but I don't think that there's something not quite right, maybe up. He's not been backed as much as he would like to kick them on. And he basically labelled he wants to, to get an opportunity to manage a bigger football club at a higher level. He's done very well with Leighton Orient, did very well for Swindon, did okay at Oldham, and was at Doncaster a bit as well. But you're playing Birmingham, who had 7 new signings in the team. Alpha May has now got 69 goals in his last 131 League One games. That's one as 0.52 goals per game. He's unbelievable. That his expected goals are 2.11. Went away at Wycombe last week, scored 3 goals during the opening day. Now they just need to get the first home win of the season. Look, I thought they start slow with all the expectation and the build upon them. I think they have started slow in terms of performances. Look, they were excellent against Wycombe. They were okay yesterday. They're okay against Reading. They've got 7 points from being okay. And if they can keep doing that, and they are going to get better, you'd imagine, it's going to be some force to stop. However, the only worry is, I'd say, I know Anderson scored, and I know they scored some other goal scorers. If Alpha May was to maybe get injured, have they got enough in them?
Striker, yeah.
And they've got good players everywhere else on the pitch. And Keshi Anderson, Hansen, Williamson. They have got other forward options. But to the quality of Alfie May, nobody's got that in the league. Don't get me wrong. But he has scored in the first 3 games.
Yeah. I think the really important thing to talk about on Orient, as Parmex has mentioned there, Hemmings in goal has had a really poor start to the season. And it's really difficult for lone goalkeepers when they come in and we've seen it before at other clubs in this league, obviously Lincoln being one. When a goalkeeper comes in and they're replacing a lone goalkeeper that was so outstanding for them last year. Sol Brim was one of Orient's best players last year. He was fantastic in between the sticks and kept a lot of clean sheets, made a lot of crucial saves. Yes, he was a bit suspect with his feet sometimes, but overall, probably within the top 10 goalkeepers of the league last season. And Hemmings is coming from the same club with the same expectation, and he's not quite hit the ground running. And it's always difficult for goalkeepers, especially when the back line's changing. But you look at the 2 goals for Blues, Ben, the 2 mistakes from the goalkeeper. I'm sure it will frustrate Wellens. The first one certainly where Keshi Anderson comes in. I don't know what he's played a really blind ball and then ends up on the floor. And then for the Alfie May goal, it's another disaster. But you got to give credit to Orient in some aspect, because despite going 1-0 down from that mistake, they did go and get themselves back in the game through Ethan Galbraith just 7 minutes later. So, yeah, I don't know. This whole Richie Wellens interview that you sent me on Twitter, it throws me a little bit. Yes, he can be saying, oh, yeah, I've signed a new deal. I'm really happy. I believe there's a project here and I won't leave until I'm finished. If Blackpool come and they offer him money to be backed in the January window or next summer or whatever, we've seen it before with Richie Wellens. I think he was somewhere else, and he was
Swindon, went to Salford.
He went to Salford, and they offered him a load of money, and then it didn't really work out. So, yeah, I don't know. I think like Wellens said, their next couple of games that they've got, Shrewsbury, Peterborough, Reading, Stockport. It doesn't get any easier for them. He says the season starts now, but it don't get any easier for them.
Yeah, I labelled them off, yeah.
It's going to be tough for them. And,
Wrexham coming up.
if they've got one win out of the first 8 games, does Wellens still have a job?
Yeah, it's one of those when it's going well, Richie Wellens, and I said this last year. You'll probably remember it when it's going well under Wellens. It goes well.
Yeah.
Doesn't go well. He's this bit of a sulky chap, I'd say, and his interviews is very much not on him a little bit as well. A bit like Steve Evans is a little bit. Not to the same degree, don't get me wrong, but no one's on that level.
He's not the size of Steve Evans either.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
That's difficult, though.
Wrexham 3, Reading 0.
Yes.
Wrexham have got the lowest amount of possession averagely in the first 3 games of the season. They've only got something like 34% possession averagely in the 3 games so far. But what Wrexham do well is get the ball as quickly as they can, forward long direct balls, get balls out wide, balls into the box, get a ball into Palmer and Marriott will flick on. Same for when Mullen. They like a target man and a flicker on. That's why they've got so many good options, whether it be Fletcher, whether it be Mullen, whether it be Jack Marriott or Ollie Palmer, who scored his 43rd goal for Wrexham yesterday in 127 games. They've got Elliot Lee, who's got a goal and assist yesterday as well. 2 clean sheets now for Okonkwo, who kept 14 in the league below last year as well. Good start.
What, Nappers? Yeah, you can't really blame Wrexham for the start. They've had a win over home wins. They've capitalised on the home games and they've gone to Bolton and got a good point on the road. I think it's been an excellent return to the 3rd tier for Wrexham. I think I speak for everybody when I say when Wrexham came into the league, I thought they were just going to spend loads of money. I thought they were going to throw loads of money at it. They're going to be signing players for £8-9 million, not £8 or £9 million, 800, 900k and £1 million. But they haven't. And they've brought players in that make a lot of sense. Arthur Okonkwo coming back has been fantastic. A lot of these players that we actually played yesterday were at the club last year. You think of Cleworth, you think of Barnett, O'Connor, Lee, Andy Cannon, Marriott, Palmer, all at the football club last season. But
Cleworth is a real deal, by the way. I watched him in the pre-season friendly, and he scored.
I know. I noticed we've both put him in our EFL fantasy team this week, so it tells you how good it is.
Yeah.
And he's only 20, 21 years old.
He's young player, good with the ball. They play a back 3, Wrexham, and you mentioned that. They brought Dobson in who can play. So you go back to Clough's style, bring a midfielder and that can play at this level. Joe Dobson completed 20 out of 27 passes yesterday, but then you've got your Andy Cannon and an Elliot Lee who can unlock a back door. You got Marriott and Palmer. You got Barnett and McLean as wing backs. It's important to have that player. I think him on a free, yes, they probably are paying decent wages. They're giving good contracts out. But play that Ollie Palmer, 32. It's vital to have that experience. Jack Marriott's, I think, in his 30s now. But they've got the young side. Phil Parkinson, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get long, direct balls. But for me, it's winning football. People go, oh, it's dinosaur football. For me, I'd rather watch that than a team trying to play out from the back. I'll be honest with you. And I know that's the way. I just think that, geographically it suits Wrexham. If it was an MK Dons, it doesn't suit them. So you wouldn't think. Maybe that's, you go back to Bolton. Everett's trying to play out from the back. It's failed a couple of times, don't get me wrong. Phil Parkinson was there and they got the ball forward, out to the line as quickly as got balls into the box. And clubs like that, that's what they want to see. You mentioned at Lincoln, there was that guy behind you that one time going, get it forward, Lincoln.
Oh, he's still there, mate.
Oh, he's still there. But that's what you want. That's what you want. And it just suits that football club. It's a great...
I do. What I like about Wrexham this year, Ben, is some of the recruitment has changed. They've gone out and got big names for the division. They've got like Fletcher, Marriott, they've brought in Palmer, etc. This year, the 2 signers that particularly caught my eye were Lewis Brunt and Sebastian Revan. I watched Revan quite a lot last week at Bolton as a fullback coming through at Villa, and he was exceptional. He's somebody that if they get it right, they can sell on for a couple of £1 million, and he's still only young as well. So, and he came on yesterday. One really big positive that I was sort of not listening when you spoke about them. Paul Mullen came on yesterday. Made his return, which is massive for Wrexham. He's obviously the focal point, the big sign that they made years ago. I have my reservations about Paul Mullen, whether he's going to cut it at this level. But I think with the familiarity of the surroundings, I think he could well be a hit. I think he could score 10 to 15 goals. But good to see him back on the pitch in a red shirt for Wrexham.
100%. It is vital that he stays fit because he can easily go and score 20 goals. And now you've got he's not necessarily going to go back into the team because the other forwards have done quite well. Reading, I'm worried for them. They have lost Femi Aziz. That first team of Abachaman, Smith, Savage, Wing, Elliott, midfield three, Dorset, Cray. They've got a good team there. I think yesterday the bench was anywhere between 18. There's no one over 21, which is good. You got young homegrown players. They're not going to sign anyone that you don't think before Friday.
Well, if the takeover is not complete, they can't sign anyone for Friday. Yeah. They've got to go into the remaining half of the season with this squad, and for me, certainly as a Reading fan, it's about depth. And January is what, 20 games away, 25 games away from now. Yeah. I would be concerned, but hopefully the takeover gets sorted sort of early part of next week, and we can see some bodies going because they need depth, like they need some experience.
It's like what I would say is they're in the sea and the water just keeps coming at them, and it's like they're kind of standing the ground for now. But it's just if they get Savage or a Wing injured, that they are 2 injuries away from failure and from drowning. So
can I be honest? I preferred your 3 points being a virginity thing.
That will never, ever, ever, ever happen again. And I'm very, very sorry. If you're new to this channel in the meantime, please please subscribe. Over half the people who watch these shows are not yet subscribed. So it would mean the world to me if you could subscribe. Let's get to 16,000 subscribers. It's been a slow weekend for the vlog, but yeah, we've got an extended vlog out on the members, and we've got this out. We've got League 2 live tomorrow. It'd be lovely of you to come and join me for League 2 live to see what that's all about as well. Get as many of you over there as well. Stockport County win their first 3 games for the first time in 48 years. Louis Barry also bags 3 and 3. All goal of the season candidates against Cambridge, Blackpool, and now Bristol Rovers. First time in 20 years, someone has done that. He scored in the opening 3 games in a Stockport shirt. This is Luke Barrett. And then Corey Dye also keeping 3 clean sheets in his first 3 games since Wayne Hennessy back in 2007. A great win. I'm not well.
Yeah, I don't know. I sort of flickered between this one and Stevenage, Burton, and I ended up landing on this one because it had a bit more bite to it. Of what I watched, it was 2 teams that were that were willing to go forward, but they didn't have that cutting edge. Then obviously that changed as soon as I turned off and left for the Lincoln Mansfield game because Louis Barry went and put the ball in the net, and what a goal it was. I think Stockport have got a way of playing. I think they're really good. The pinging the ball around. Norwood is a massive conductor, and I thought that just watching him, he clearly looked to be from levels above, given the fact he played 20 times in the Premier League last season for Sheffield United. For Bristol Rovers, I like the recruitment. I like the forward line. I like Isaac Hutchinson. I think he's a great player. Luke Thomas on the wing. Martin up front with promise on a cherry. And I was saying this to Charlie earlier. They spent 600 grand on a striker, right? And they still need another striker. That is everything that is wrong with Bristol Rovers. Like they get given this money, and they you just don't trust them to go and spend it wisely. If you give that 600 grand,
I'll give you an analogy, right? It's like giving Peter Barlow in Coronation Street, who's an alcoholic, saying, "There you are, there's keys to a pub."
Yeah, it's such a bad idea. If you gave that 600 grand, Ben, to a Peterborough or to a Lincoln, they're going to use that money to spend much smarter.
It's like giving you 30 quid to spend in the Lincoln City Club shop, innit? And say, don't spend anything.
Exactly. It's a bad idea. And yeah, again, they just looked toothless. They didn't get many shots. So I thought Bristol Rovers actually, in their approach play, got the ball into the final third really well. They bypassed the Stockport midfield. But as soon as they got to that final third, it's like they've run out of ideas. I'm sure it's not a Matt Taylor thing, because we've seen Matt Taylor teams do really well, especially that Exeter team in League 2.
Away from home, they are toothless though under him. away from home.
They're just so
I went for him. I think I thought he'd be the first manager to get sacked.
For
Because even in the win, even when they played Northampton, I know they won in the last minute. They were poor. They've been poor in all 3 games. They got a great point last week. They still got 4 points from Northampton, Rotherham, Stockport. That is a great return. They would have taken that all day long. But the performances, we said this about Shrewsbury last year. It's not sustainable. And also because the other one was called Matt Taylor, I need a new agenda. But Promise Amateur yesterday had 41 touches in the match. That's the fewest of any player to play 90 minutes. Promise can do all the rest. He can hold it. He can bring others into play. He can flick it on. And you think, how's he just kept it? He's the strongest player I've ever seen in a Fleetwood shirt. And I've seen Steve McNulty play for Fleetwood. He's unbelievably strong. His body, how he uses it. And he's fitter. He's leaner now. But he's not, I don't think he's fit enough to do it in 90 minutes. I know he did it yesterday. But he's just kind of like his legs go on him. And he's like, he's what it's like saying. It's like you spun Promise around 10 times and you put him through on goal. He's dizzy. He's erratic. And I worry for them because Chris Martin started off slow, regular for goals. Thomas, if you stop Luke Thomas and you stop Chris Martin and, you put a man on Promise, you're stopping Bristol Rovers. They're not going to score many goals from that. They'll win a lot of games. If Bristol Rovers are going to win games this year, they're going to have to keep a lot of clean sheets and win games 1-0, 2-1 to have a tight game.
And they do look more solid this year, Ben.
They do.
Josh Griffiths has been a really good addition by all accounts, and Matt Taylor seems to be able to plug one issue but not the other.
Go back to that. Go back about 10 minutes for that. He actually praised you today.
I don't have an issue with Wrexham.
Well, you didn't. You did the first video. You don't remember what you said?
Well, I said that
got very average players.
Yeah, I said I don't think they've got any top end League One players. Yeah. 3 games in, Ben. Relax.
Next up, Wycombe Wanderers 2, Steve Evans,
Best
Rotherham
win ever in
0.
their history, mate. That
5 wins out of 9 for Wycombe in this fixture. The last time Rotherham won against Wycombe was September 2020, was when there was no fans in, and it was a 1-0 win at Adams Park in the Championship.
Yep.
So, not a great happy hunting ground. They had 8 shots on target in the match. This season, they've had 15 shots on target and they've scored no goals. They've got the second highest expected goals on 5.5. They've scored no goals. Away on the opening day at Exeter, they were poor. Deserved to lose the game of football. They deserved to win last week. They couldn't find a way through. They didn't really create a big chance in the game, but they created some small ones. And yesterday, they had 8 shots on target. Wycombe stood up to that. They brought in Aaron Morley and Cameron Humphreys this week. Aaron Moore is a good player on loan from Bolton. Can score goals at this level.
Got a very good Twitter account, Aaron Morley.
Yeah, JK analysis. It looks very familiar, according to some. Apparently, it looks like a frog, says Jack Kershaw. And I went, exactly. Love it. Love the boy. Cameron Humphreys is a great player. I thought he was one of Ipswich's best players in the early part of their League One promotion season. He can play left back, left midfield, centre midfield. He's 20. He was 17, 18 when he burst into their first team. He scored 2 goals a couple of years ago away at Lincoln, and then scored against Port Vale away from home as well, when they won there on a Tuesday night as well. So yeah, it's a good team, and you've got Scowen, who got a goal on assist yesterday. Really good for him. So good to see. You still got Udo, Coney to get up and running as well. McCleary, obviously I think Coney scored on the opening day, but they'll get better. Great win. They lost the first games last year until they beat Leyton Orient 3-2, where I think Lowe got a brace on the day on that Tuesday night. I think the 5th game in, something like that. Good win for Wycombe, but for Rotherham, Steve Evans wasn't a happy man.
Yeah, what a surprise that Pratt's chomping around on the touchline. I thought Wycombe were actually very good value for the win, Ben. Steve Evans talked about Rotherham in his post-match. Well, Rotherham, we dominate, and if we take our chances, it's a completely different game. I don't know. I disagree with him. Wycombe had a lot of the play. Wycombe were good. Wycombe won the ball back up the pitch very high. We've spoken about. I think in League One this year to be successful, Ben, you've got to win the ball high up, be dangerous in transition because so many teams are good at it. The likes of Wrexham, Lincoln are good at it. Wycombe were very good at it yesterday, nicking the ball off Rotherham in high areas of the pitch and making them punish. And like you say, Cam Humphreys has come in and done really well. But you look at Wycombe, they've made some really good signings over the course of the summer. And they're all very Wycombe signings, aren't they? Dan Udoh coming in, although he's playing on the right wing. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Seems to have slotted in really well. Alex Hartridge on that is that left centre back, and Dan Harvey done really well again. So, look, another good win for Wycombe. They ended the last season really positively, like we've mentioned before. And I think they deserve the win. I don't think Rotherham are a good side at the moment. I think a lot of teams will want to play Rotherham as soon as they can because we've all said it, and I'm sure everyone else has said it. Rotherham at some point will click because Steve Evans will keep changing it to find a way for them to win. But unfortunately, they're just not getting the rub of the green at the moment, and they're losing and not picking up wins. And that's now 656 days since they last won a league away game. So they're in bother.
Well, they might win away on Tuesday night. They won't be in the league, but Tuesday night might
No,
be
don't count them, mate. Don't count.
Yeah. Exeter City lost their last two league games by the scoreline of 2-1. Scored first in both games. Posh have now scored 6 in their last 2 with an expected goals of 5.34. After their opening day drumming, they've now got the highest expected goals in the division. A great result. Odo now has got 3 assists. He only got 4 last season for Harrogate. Great win.
Yeah, I told you about Odo, didn't I, over the summer, how good he was going to be. I thought Exeter started this game really well, actually. And the first goal sort of signified that. Reece Cole is, I don't know about you, Ben, but he's probably one of the most underrated players in this league.
Gets goals, gets assists.
Given how productive he is in that Exeter team that don't historically create a lot of chances, but he's able to use his body frame so well for that goal. On the turn, straight past the goalkeeper. It's a really good finish. But then Peterborough come roaring back, and we've seen it so many times from this Peterborough team. You talking to me or Ben there, Nappers?
I'm talking to me admin.
Are you talking to the admin staff? Right, got you.
Yeah.
They come roaring back, and we know how good Peterborough are going forward. I don't know about you, Ben, but I watched the highlights. The second goal, I had to look up who it was that scored it because I didn't know Peterborough had a number 37. Obviously, it's this Fernandez fella who 19. I'm pretty sure they signed him when they got promoted to the Championship, and he's struggled to get into the team. But
he's a young lad. I think he's only about 19.
Yeah, and he looked really. I think he looked really good.
We've got big things for him. Darren McCanty's a big fan of him.
Yeah, and their average age of their team yesterday 23.8 with 3 Exeter lads coming back to Exeter in Sparks, Collins, and Randall.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. They got a penalty, didn't they, in the second half, and Joe Whitworth did well to save it. But Exeter never. I mean, I've obviously only watched the highlights, Ben. You might have somehow plugged the iFollow or got another 90 minutes. I don't think Exeter really threatened after the goal. Peterborough looked like they were in cruise control once they went 2-1 up and probably should have made it further. But I agree, Abraham Ado played fantastic. Kwame Poku on the other side. Peterborough's wingers are playing well, and we're not very surprised by that, are we?
Gary Cowell also signed a new long-term deal.
Very good for him.
8 months after you lost 7-0 away at Bolton. So, a long time in football. Good for him and good for the football club. Huddersfield are getting the job done when not playing at the highest of standards.
Yes.
1-0 win, beat Stevenage 2-1. They played very well against Peterborough on the opening day. Didn't give them a sniff. We've not seen a full throttle where they can win 3, 4, 5, possibly 6. They'll create loads of chances. But Duff's teams aren't like that. They are a team that will be solid, will score a goal. They can score 1 or 2. They can defend and, keep clean sheets regularly enough to win goals. And, Marshall scores his first goal. He had a loan spell at West Brom, I think, last year. Didn't really feature that much. Callum Marshall's dropped down the level. But they've scored, I think, 5 goals from 4 different goal scorers. For Shrewsbury, Bloxham, Shipley, Penny and O'Reilly, is there. Perry, and O'Reilly's they're kind of their main 4 options going forward. You got Winchester just behind him, Benning, Pire, Toto Enciala, Hoolan, Savin in goal. And I do worry for their lack of goals. I think John Marcus will score 10 goals. That's not enough. I think O'Reilly might chip in with 5 or 6. Bloxham might be the same. Shipley might get 4 or 5. Perry might get the same. I've just listed probably 35 goals. I think you're going to have to score 50. And yes, it's only 15 goals, but that'll make a matter. They scored the joint least most goals, 19th in terms of, the amount of goals, conceded, the worst defence. 23rd in possession, only Wrexham more. 23rd in expected goals. I'm worried for them. And yesterday they didn't play bad. They weren't bad. They've gone to Huddersfield, they've gone to Stevenage, and they played Peterborough. It's been a tough start for them. But they've got Orient at home, and then after that, if they don't win that one, Wrexham, Charlton, all coming up. Mansfield and they've got someone at home at the end of the month as well. At the end of that, I think it's Rotherham. What do you think of this Shrewsbury team? Great result for Huddersfield, getting the job done. I had Nichols in my fantasy team, kept a clean sheet, and they're getting the job done.
Yeah, dominant Huddersfield performance, so they just couldn't take the chances. And it indicates to me, I've been speaking with plenty of Huddersfield fans in the last couple of weeks on why they need a striker. and for me, it indicates exactly that. Yes, Callum Marshall getting a goal is great, but I'm not overly sure he's going to score the goals that the striker that they want to come in would score if put in that team. But they look steady. I mean, they're starting at a very good level, aren't they? Huddersfield, a very good side. They play good football under Duff. They get the ball forward quickly, and they did that. And to be honest, they didn't have to get out of second gear to beat Shrewsbury at all yesterday. Shrewsbury, this team that. What they really need to do is solidify defensively, because like you say, they're going to score 35, 40 goals this season. They need to keep a lot of clean sheets. And at the moment, conceding 4 to Peterborough, 1 here, 1 yesterday. It could have been more yesterday.
Could have been more Stevenage as well.
I'm getting extremely worried that, if we're expecting Shrewsbury to stay up, that defensive aspect that they've got is not good enough. I think the names on paper are decent. I think Luca Hall, Mal Benning, Aaron Pierre, Toto Enciala, they're not bad League One level players, but they've just got a knack of not keeping clean sheets, and that's ultimately, I think, it's going to cost them. That and the fact they've lost a load of key players over the summer as well. I think Shrewsbury are doomed, and the early season would certainly indicate that.
Wigan got a great result over Crawley. Now these are the games we can quick fire. Awful game. Wigan didn't even have a shot on target until the second half. It was an own goal that put them in front. And then, because you look at the goals you conceded, it's an own goal and a mistake by the goalkeeper so far for Crawley. Other than that, they've been pretty solid. 15 clean sheets for Wigan last year. They've already kept the first one now. Lowest shots on target per game, lowest expected goals in the league so far as well. And they're not really creating many chances. Sean Maloney got his 30th win of the season, 30th win of his Wigan career since coming back in as a manager. So good for him as well. But they've got good forward options: Thomas Rankin, Thelaway's guard, Hugh Gill. Crawley had the large parts of the possession. What are you smiling at?
Thomas Rankin.
I said Rankin, Thomas on the other side.
I thought you called him Thomas Rankin. I thought
Dion Rankin. I know that. Rankin on one side, Thomas on the other. He's got Hugill. Then I just think Crawley had a lot of possession yesterday. Just couldn't really force the issues with the wide areas like Sir Eddie Mayo, Junior, Katurna, Darcy, Hepburn, Murphy, all on the pitch yesterday as well. Look, they had 72 possession. I think they had like 78 in the second half as well. They've got the second highest percentage of possession this year as well. Only Birmingham have more. Possession doesn't win your games, but they won them a lot of games last year. And the past teams to death, they've come up a level. Good result for Wigan. It wasn't pretty, but after they started out to Charlton and away at Reading, they needed it.
Crawley should have won this game, Ben. Based on chances, based on possession, based on shots, based on almost every metric you'd imagine when you're looking at a game. but they've just not got that killer instinct. And you're looking at the front line for them. Hepburn Murphy's not really done it at the level below. Is he going to do it here? I know he scored on opening day. Ronan Darcy, he played at this level for Bolton. He was part of that Bolton team, wasn't he? That when they had loads of kids and they came down for the championship. Junior Katerna, you can say that he has done it in 15, 20-minute patches at this level, maybe not for games at a time. So for me, if I'm Crawley and Scott Lindsay going into the window, I'm starting to think maybe I need another number 9 just to that's guaranteed to take chances. Hepburn Murphy never had a great record in the league below, like I say. They're really missing Danilo Orsi. And looking at it, they've not particularly brought any out-and-out strikers on from the bench over the course of that 90 minutes. For Wigan, I think they were poor. Again, I don't know. They've got some good players, Ben, admittedly. If Thelo Asgard goes, I would be worried about it. Wigan, I think Sean Maloney said after the game that a percentage of the Charlie Hughes sale is going to be reinvested into the squad this week. And to me, they need just that spark of creativity, maybe from out wide. I know, like you mentioned, the wide forwards there, but they just need some else for me. They're missing that presence up front where they had in Josh McGuinness over the last couple of years to hold the ball. Hugh was not going to be able to hold the ball up and bring others into play. So I think they could do with another striker. I think they could maybe do another really creative winger as well. Because ultimately, like you say, lowest XG in the division, it is a little bit
Wigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with it, the Hugo. It looks a bit isolated up there on his own. Burton 0, Stevenage 0. I think we can get through this in 30 seconds. Burton didn't have a shot on target yesterday. All their attacking play the last few weeks wasn't there to be seen yesterday. 9 new players in the starting 11. The 5 subs that came on, all new players. 14 of 16 yesterday. Only Sweeney and Crocombe were players. And via you the other day, Sweeney versus Sweeney, the brothers derby, both wearing the same shirt number as well. Good point for Stevenage, their second clean sheet of the season. Simpson up there was in the battle, lost the most duels in the match, lost 10 duels. Good point for Burton. 2 points from 2. Look, they'd be disappointed not to win yesterday. Burton, in an ideal world, we're thinking we could have 5 points. We could have drawn against Lincoln. There's opportunities for us to draw. Could have won against Mansfield. And point here was probably fair. Could have lost here, though. So I found so far in the 3 games for a lot of teams, you look at Portsmouth and Oxford at a higher level as well when we're doing T. But we look at Fleetwood, certainly. I think 5 points is probably fair. Probably should have won yesterday. Maybe lost last weekend as well. Good point for both, because they're not going to get anything next week, are they, Stevenage?
No, mate. You're spot on in your assessment there. Ben, there's nothing to talk about. 2 teams that did nothing. I would try and say something about it. I thought that Dan Kemp looked bright yesterday. He looked okay going forward, but a day to forget for Stevenage. I did have a lovely video message with Matt Farley. We had a lovely chat last night. But him and Andy Blair. What should we say about Andy Blair? We won't say anything. But a poor game, and they're going to need to be on it next week because the big boys are in town.
Yeah, right. Predictions times. Get your questions in for the last 5 minutes. Get your question in for the last 5 minutes of the show as well. And if you could subscribe if you are new. If you haven't subscribed to me, first off, what are you doing? Get subscribed down below. It's free to do so. And it'd be great to see you tomorrow night on my League 2 Live. These don't stop. I give him a day off. Oh, it's going to be a hard one. Another show.
Should we do the predictions? Or should we have a look at last week? So, it was a role reversal of last weekend, the first weekend, where I got 9, you got 8. You this time got 9 and I got 8. You predicted... what score did you get right? I just went through it last night. Stockport, you got absolutely spot on. I stupidly backed Bristol Rovers to get a point at Edgley Park. I don't know what on earth I was thinking. But you got a lot of the results right, maybe not the scores. I got the Wigan result spot on. There I am, slagging Wigan off and saying that they're rubbish, and I predicted them to win, which means you take a slight early lead. Ben 27, me 22. Just like the T-Lock predictions all over again. But we've got some. I think we've got some good games next weekend, by all accounts. Having a look at it, let's have a look. Should we go through them, Ben?
Let's go through.
Can I? So who went first last week? Can you remember?
I
Was it
went
you?
first, I think.
So obviously there's the caveat that if I say a result, Ben cannot then copy me. So
Yeah.
okay, right. Are you going to read out or am I?
I'll let you read out this week.
But you got to bear in mind, I have Sofa Score. And it doesn't do it in alphabetical order. Do you want me to?
That's fine.
I'll get on BBC. Look at the comments, Ben.
Look at the comments.
Look at the comments.
I tell you what,
people
boys.
saying?
Tell you what. These shows, genuinely, right, are my favourite shows to do. But working with this boy, what a boy to work with. It's not so good to work with him and Josh, the OGs as well. They keep me going as well because they are tyrants. If you could give us a like, freshen us up,
Ben.
get subscribing, it would really help as well. You think the games on the Sky so far are a good advert for League One? I think so far League One's been a great advert. Look, if I'm going to be honest with you, have I watched every game? No. I've watched a large number of games, but League One's just a fantastic league, and I love it.
I've got them up. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Oh, Aaron Morley said hi, Ben, in the chat. That's nice of him. Nice for him to join us. Not too busy down in Wycombe. Blackpool versus Wycombe. I don't know how you're going to get on here, Kershaw. I'm going to back.
Going to Wimbledon with me.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm going to back a draw. I'm going to go Blackpool 1, Wycombe 1.
I'm going to go for Blackpool 2, Wycombe 1.
Yorkshire Derby in Rotherham versus Huddersfield. I feel like Rotherham might. Oh no! I'm going to back another draw. I think Evans will get I think they'll be starting to look up. I'm going to go Rotherham 1, Huddersfield 1.
I'm going to go for Rotherham 2, Huddersfield 1.
Right. Blues next. They host Wigan Athletic. For me, this is a routine Birmingham City win. Birmingham City 2, Wigan 0. You're going to go for
Birmingham 3, Wigan 1. I was, yeah. That's the first one.
The Grecians travel up to Bolton on Saturday. I think this is a comfortable statement win from Bolton. I'm going to go Bolton Wanderers 3, Exeter 0.
Oh, you bah! You lovely man. 2-0 Bolton.
Bristol Rovers are playing Cambridge United in a university trivia quiz. Can't wait for that. Bristol Rovers 2, Cambridge 1. I don't know why.
I don't like this game.
I'm back in the gas again. What we're doing?
I don't like this because you give Nick a prediction again. 2-0 Bristol Rovers. Promise score Saturday, by the way.
Okay, if Promise scores on Saturday, I think you deserve the 3 points, even if you get it wrong. Crawley versus.
What was if he scores and loses 5-1 or something?
Yeah, innit. Cambridge aren't scoring 5 goals. Crawley versus
I get double points if
Barnsley.
you win 2-0 on Promise scores.
Crawley versus Barnsley. I'm going to go Crawley 1, Barnsley 0.
Crawley 0, Barnsley 1.
Copycat.
Barnsley good away.
Mansfield Town versus Stockport. Stockport struggle at Mansfield historically. So I'm going to go Mansfield 1, Stockport 2.
Mansfield 0, Stockport 1.
Yeah, I think Stockport will win. Northampton taking on the Brewers at Sixfields. I think this is where I would play my 0-0 card. Yeah.
Northampton 0, Burton 1.
Burton
Another away win.
Now this is exciting. At London Road, Peterborough United versus Wrexham. I'm going to go Peterborough United 2, Wrexham 1.
2-0 Posh.
Yeah. Reading against Charlton. 2 decent teams, I think.
Nathan Jones' first game, that, by the way, when he first came in.
Yeah, and they drew that. I'm going to go Reading 1, Charlton 1.
Yeah, was it 1-1?
Probably. No,
I swear he lost. No, I swear he lost.
I can't remember. It was a long time ago, Ben.
Let me have a look.
Since then.
I like being right. I like being right more than I like being happy. I'm almost never happy, but I'm always right. That's one thing I'll say. However, yes, I was correct. He lost 2-0. So, yeah, like I said, never happy, but always right. I'm going to go for 2-1 Charlton. They're going to concede, but they carry on the momentum.
It's the start of Leighton Orient's season as they travel to Shrewsbury. It's a shame they're doing it 3 games late. Salop 0, Orient 1 for me.
Won there 3-1 last year, didn't they? 2-0 Leighton Orient.
Saving the best till last. Stevenage Borough versus Lincoln City.
Skibala's first game as well.
It was Skibala, and we lost.
1-0, and you were going, Scooby Doo, how are you?
We've got some work to do now.
How much do you think has improved you since then?
Oh my God, like night and day. We didn't look like scoring that day, I can remember. And I had to stand there because the stewards wouldn't let us out. And I had to stand there and watch Fat Boy Evans do his little comedy act. And I was just... Stevenage 1... yeah, we concede. Stevenage 1, Lincoln City 2.
Stevenage 1, Lincoln 1. It's the first time I've not seen you. I think you'd have taken that.
Oh, Stevenage is a good point.
7 from first 12. You'd have taken that.
I've got backers to win, haven't I?
You'd have took that all day. Right, get some questions in comments down below. 5 minutes left. Got anything to answer? The boy Nappers will answer them, and Jake will answer them as well. Remember, link down below. Fancy subscribing, link down below. We've got Rotherham Tuesday night, under light, special night. Can't wait for it.
Special night against Rotherham.
You know, Rotherham kept us up a few years ago where we took 6 points.
Yeah, they beat Gillingham, didn't they?
4-2. Beaten 4-2 away. Beaten 1-0 at home. Pilkington, last minute, limbs, Nappers all over the place.
Can you put that comment up from Ben Darrell?
Yeah, well,
don't know if you can see. Don't know if you can see that. Don't know if you can see that, Darrell.
You run out of matches.
There is a Tinder notification.
Look at mine. Boy. No likes, boy. No like.
Oh, she was all right.
Hello.
What's her
Faith.
name?
I've got some faith in Fleetwood. Come on, the boys.
Come on.
But, what a signing that would be. Left-footed.
Already happened.
Played at Fleetwood. He is in the top 5 players I've ever seen at Fleetwood.
It's happened.
He is back to fact.
What? It's been announced.
Yeah, no. It's a great signing.
Oh, you said if it happened. I was like,
sorry.
Happened, mate.
Oh, I think. Well, anyway, great signing. Left-footed, comfortable on the ball, can run out with the ball. So good. Good in a 4, especially good in a 3. Your wing back can go off on adventures and he can cover left back. What a signing. One of the best signings this window.
All right, boys. Any ideas? She's new, apparently.
Is she?
New. Natalie. She looks like one of them bot snappers. Have you noticed them on Tinder?
Yeah.
Where it says passport mode underneath it.
Yeah.
Thinking, you are some bloke from Stevenage sat on your computer. I'm going to say, no thanks. Shania.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Swipe to the right now.
Liv's not bad. Jemima.
Hang on a minute.
I'm covered up here.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus, wet. I don't like that.
Blows around. Hang on a minute.
Oh, we've been flustered by Jemima.
Hang on a minute. I'm like an old dad. There we are. We got
Hello,
there.
everybody.
It's the boy.
Get on the other. We're on the wrong. There we go.
There we are. That went well. The Tinder podcast coming. You know something? It might get more views.
It wouldn't be a very busy podcast.
If you fancy giving us a follow on TikTok, by the way, Cod's Vlogs come over. We've been making some content over there as well. Cheers. What Leighton went away this weekend? Oh, great result for you. Great result, Leon. And let us know. I will tell you what I want to know down below. The club you support and how long you've been subscribed to this channel. Like in years or the number of subscribers you were relatively at when you subscribe. Where were you, Jake? 5,000?
When I followed you?
Yeah.
When did we make that preview together, Nappers? Was it the COVID season?
Yeah.
So that would have been...
We had to rush off.
We played you right at the start of that season, didn't we? It was about 5 games in. We drew 0-0.
Yeah.
So
And
that'd
about
have
5,000 then, 6,000
been,
or something.
September 2020.
I'm hoping so, Sue. It's
Friday
just get
night.
deadline day show. We arranged it last week.
Oh yes, we are doing a deadline day show. Are we, Nappers? You're the man.
Yeah, yeah. We can do a couple of hours, can't we? Let's go for it.
I think we can do 8 till 11.
Yeah, go on then. Bring the snacks. Serious snacks. Sorry,
I think we should maybe get a certain Josh Talk CFL involved as well.
Let's do it. I bought Fleetwood and such. Oh, thank you so much. I met this boy yesterday for the first time. He's like my hero. Coming out to Fleetwood. Oh, what a day. One of my top 10 away games, that. Wow. Birmingham, I saw the other week.
That was Sean Rooney, wasn't it?
Yeah. Leon, love that. It's just nice to hear. League One and League Two deadline day, the three of you. Let's go for it. Let's get Josh on. He might be, he's going on holiday.
Oh.
He's on holiday.
Goon.
Yeah. Thank you for the fine show. Thank you very much. Right. On that note, I am off. I'm going to let this one off. He's got to go to bed because he is on tag and got to be in bed by 9:30. So I will. Jake, thank you for coming on, mate, as always.
Thank you, Nappers. Can everybody please email us on as that Football League podcast at gmail.com so we can have some good emails for next week, please, because we've had some very poor ones and I'd like some nice ones.
Yeah, we've been getting a bit slaughtered, haven't we?
We got slaughtered by a Northampton Town fan. I won't say his name, but I don't like him.
Yeah,
you watching? Screw you.
Yeah. Well, anyway, massive thank you for all the support. If you haven't liked already, get liking, get subscribing. Always enjoy these shows. And come and join me tomorrow. Tomorrow you can actually see a nice co-host in Josh, knowledgeable one, intelligent one.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a mess.
So this is my plea to get more people over the League Two streams. Be good to see you. It's more than just League Two. You know, it's Bank Holiday Monday. Come and join me. Let's make it. You know, we've had I think we've had 800, 1,000, and 1,000. Let's break that. Let's go higher. See you tomorrow. League Two live. All the Fleetwood boys, you know, can come in as well.
Aaron Morley, you'll be there.
Aaron Morley, he's on next week. As ever, a massive thank you. Peace out. Drive safely. Up the cards. Up the Sky Bet League One. We'll be back live with League One live next week. We'll have a vlog on Tuesday night. Get notifications on. Get subscribing. Thanks for watching. See you when you're older.
Up the imps.
Spencer Owen, eat your heart out. Cause red light.
I was about to say we're all going on a summer holiday, but we're not.
I tell you, you know what I was thinking last year, right? When I was on FaceTime to someone, won't mention the name, but don't look at me. We're all going on a summer holiday. No more Bolton for a year or 3. That's the best thing I heard last year.
Oh, Ben, we should say happy birthday, Tony, because it's his birthday.
Chief exec, cameraman, captain, leader.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Now get that book down.
Happy birthday, dear Tricky Tony. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hooray.
Yeah.
Go on, Tony.
Anyway, there's still 60 people. A massive thank you, as always. You've had your sing along. We'll do a stream Friday night. Why not? Always great doing these shows. Big thank you to the boy wonder. And I'll see you later. Up the cards, up the League One. League Two time tomorrow. Come on.
Up the imps.
Up the cards.